Hello, everybody. Michael Gracia here, and have a fantastic show planned tonight. So, first off, welcome to Get in Tune. I am. I had a fun show last week. I got to draw with Ralph. I don't do that too often on the streams. That was fun. But before I bring on my guest, let's do a few announcements. Number one. This weekend, I'm going to be at Brickapalooza in New City, New York. So if you're a Lego fan, it's a great family-friendly show. I'll be doing my cartoonatures, and I'll be doing you guys as like Lego style figures. Um, that's number one. Number two. Um, I am going to be the following weekend at Yonkers Comic Con. I'm not going to be tabling, but I will be talking on a panel about how I got into comics and any struggles that I dealt with, within the industry or just, you know, personally getting into comics. So, yeah, that's the big stuff. I got some other news coming soon, but I will be doing some live streams and talking about that there. So let's bring on our guest. You guys all know him. He is a wonderful illustrator. He's an author. He's an educator, and through his long book, not I don't want to call him long, but his long line of books, and they're all great. I have a bunch on my bookshelf on the other side of the room. Um, let's bring on Chris Hart. Give me one second, and hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm
Good to
doing
see you,
great.
Mike.
Yeah, good to see you. And we in the audience, we got Leolo. Hello. Um, yep, and that's the only one. So welcome to. I mean,
Well,
that's the
it's,
only one commenting. There are
it's like a
people that
private
are.
lesson, right? It's how to
Yeah,
draw
yeah,
cartoons.
yeah. Absolutely. So first off, thank you for coming on. I always enjoy when you come on and we get to chat. Um,
Sure.
you have a great, you know, you know what it is what I love about it. I always learn something new about you. You always kind of
All right.
tell an interesting story, and it's like, I never looked at art that way, or it's just an interesting fact about you that makes me like look at your books a little differently, knowing the
Oh,
author behind it. So it's always fun for me to chat with you. And you got a new book which we'll get to in a few
sure.
minutes. But before we begin, as I always do, just in case someone out there doesn't know who you are by now, because this is, I think, your fourth, maybe fifth appearance on the
Right,
show.
right. Every time I get a book, I call you.
Yeah,
Mike, I just published another book.
exactly. And I'm happy to bring you
As
on
he's
and
running away down the sidewalk.
but yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, just your background and what you do.
Okay, I'll keep it. I'll keep it brief. I'm an author illustrator of many books on how to draw cartoons, and I've gone through many genres, developing different genres for how to draw. I have sold about over 100 books published by traditional publishers, and I'm with Soho Publications. And let's see, what else can I tell you that I've sold? I'm going to brag a little. I've sold over 8 million books. I'm about 2,000 years old, so that's a book that. So that's it. I mean, there's a lot more, but that's the main thing on the back of like a book jacket. So, but you want to know more? Ask me anything.
Yeah, anybody watching, if you have questions that you've always wanted to ask Chris on really any topic here, within
Ah,
art and his books, we're happy to discuss it.
I know who this is. This is this person. I don't know if I should use her name. I see always on Facebook, but a very very loyal and interested, comic cartoon fan. She asks questions. She posts her own stuff. Sometimes she asks me to make some comments on it. So I'm glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you. And I think it's okay to use her name because she says it in the comments. So anybody
Okay.
watching, anybody watching, will know.
Hmm.
So let's talk about your new book. We're going to jump right into it tonight because we
Right
got a
in.
lot of stuff. If we can, I'd love to get through and talk with you
Sure.
about. And I also, just for everybody watching, I know I'm in a new setting. I'm set up at my drawing table today, so my background's a little different. Um, you know, uh, but uh, but yeah, don't let that bother you. I usually have my other pictures there.
No, I'm bothered because it's so neat and organized. You can see what mine looks like back here. It's like a tornado hit.
Oh, no, no,
I
mine
don't like
is.
that about your
I've
place.
been cleaning for the last like 3 or 4 days, and
Okay.
it's like
It takes
slowly.
that long. I'll never do it.
Listen, I got to say though, just background wise, every time I talk to you, I love that anatomical statue
Oh,
right there. That is just you know beautiful.
I have a bunch of them because you sort of you cross reference. Sometimes I've had a lot of anatomy books too, etching books from way back like in the 16th century before there was germ theory,
Yeah,
and they don't agree with each other. Sometimes so what are you going to use for reference? And you find a few that have very very similar spots. Say, all right, so I'm using that as my mark.
yeah.
Just maybe in proportions and things like that.
No, that you're right. I have so many books all over the place that and I talk to so many different educators, being in the education world.
Yeah,
Everybody has their own techniques,
right,
um, and own thoughts on anatomy and just drawing in general.
right.
The only thing, and this is one tip I'm going to give that I don't know if you've ever done, but my issue has always been drawing legs.
Drawing
Okay,
what?
legs,
Oh,
like
oh, oh,
like like realistic muscles and that. And one of the things I got, and this isn't on muscles, it's on the knee. Someone once told me, think of the knee like a light bulb.
yeah.
And when I started thinking that, I started drawing it in two set with an upper part and a lower part.
So you're
And
talking about a front view, right? Because it's very different on a
oh
side view.
yeah, no, absolutely, in the
That looks like
front
a
view.
cap.
Yeah.
Well, because the actual knee, the kneecap, is covered by the top part of the joint. It doesn't
Yes.
cover both joints. It covers the top part of the joint. The second one is this little bump out on the bone of the bottom one, and that's the second one. That's where all the tendons and stuff go down. So that's perfect.
Yeah.
Rather than just like an amorphous knee that like floats up like a back of a cantaloupe that floats everywhere, ends up there.
Yeah. But that helped me out a lot though, like with drawing it from a front view when I was when I was learning. Anyway, your book. You have another great
Oh, thanks.
cartooning book out there. It's a very nice. I got to see some of the what do you call it? Some of the pages. I'm sorry. Let's
Yeah, pages.
let's bring it on.
Oh
And
yeah, here we go.
so this is how to draw cute. Is it pronounced mochi? Or
Mochi, yes, that's right.
mochi animals. Can
Yes.
you explain two things? One, what is mochi? And two, how did the idea for this book come about?
Okay, well, I'll tell you, it happens like at the same time.
Okay.
So it's like this. I'm always reviewing different genres. Every genres I'm not even working on that I've done in the past, see if there's an interesting way to represent them or maybe something new. And so I was walking, I don't know if I was actually walking, but I was coming upon these um, illustrations of like rice cakes. And I went, whoa, because I'm big into manga and anime. I've got a lot of
Yeah.
books on them and in different styles. And this wasn't really that style, but it was absolutely adorable. So I looked into it a little more to just see where the origin was of it. And a lot of people already know this. The people who know what mochi is
Mhm.
know where it came from. But the illustrators don't know who know the style, don't know where it came from. If that makes any sense. And even if it doesn't matter. Here's the thing. In Asian countries, it used to be rice cakes. Sweet rice cakes was a very desirable dish. And to make it a little more commercial, make it more fun, make it more lively for dessert, the chefs came up with these adorable faces they put on these characters. But these big rice cakes, they don't really have lots of arms and legs because they're rice cakes. You
Yeah.
can't stand this thing up. So the main feature of it is it was adorable and plump. And I thought, went to my publisher. I said, we got to do this thing. I mean, this is so great. And she said, can you draw these sort of things as cartoons? I said, they are cartoons. They already are. They're plump, super cute characters. And let's do all animals. And so that's what this is basically about. Ultra cute. So what that means is that we're going to leave out as much detail as we can and put in as much personality as we can. They're not actually diametrically opposed. So we want to take out the extra frills and the cross hatching and details of markings, but focus on the eyes, the smile, the roundness of the belly, the roundness of the back, the proportions, the lack of a neck. You want to assemble something cute and then add simple stuff to it. Like on this, for instance, like on this cover, for instance, the hippo is very cute. He doesn't even have legs. He doesn't need them. Everything is super simplified, like the koala holding onto the tree on the bottom left. I haven't even given him a mouth. He's just that cute, just a round back and a head as big as his body. It has a Japanese flavor to it because it is Japanese as far as a style. Or maybe some people could argue it's also Korean or Chinese because it's really been all places. I don't think that there's great documentation, but this is all my opinion. If there's something to contradict it, that's fine. But we all love it, and you see in stores like in New York City all over the place. Mochi ice cream, mochi pastries, mochi this. So that's the beginning. I always like character design to have a solid beginning.
Yeah.
Like in some great animated films, the beginning is you're going to have a very bony, wicked character, very sharp skull shape. And then some, animated films, you're going to have a very fluffy, round, so this is the foundation for these types. Now, aren't you sorry you asked me? That's a long answer, right?
Yeah. But hey, listen, it's interesting to
Holly
me.
said she likes that cute fox belly.
Yeah. You know what? I'm looking
That's
at
right.
these images, and it reminds me of I don't remember the name of the types of figures, but there's like all these like soft plushy figures that kind of have this look to it. And I know because my wife collects like all those little things, and I mean not everything, but like like I see a couple on here like she would love that sloth and the lion.
Some have already been transferred into toys. So it's moving. It's moving. I think a fun idea if you like to do it is to show the next one and then ask Holly if she could articulate to us what does she think makes this particular character cute for her. Like what about the character does she think is effective, and she could write that in or share that on an audio if you like.
I would love that. Now, did you want me to go to this page or one of the characters?
I think one of the characters, because it would feature them. This is giving too much information right now.
Let's go with the dog here.
Yeah.
I love this little puppy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What do you think, Holly? Do you like how? Is there anything that you think is especially makes this cuter than other parts? Squamallows. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. The Squishamallows, right? That's what you mean? That's what I was thinking that it reminds me of.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know it. But I know that. Tom, nice to see you. Yes, from that also Facebook. We're going to have a reunion here. But so Holly, I was thinking that was fun about this is that he's got the tiniest little mouth, which is open, and the tongue is hanging out. And what I thought would be fun is if you're going to make a big wide mouth and have them wide open and a tongue, he's going to have a big mouth. But I thought, let's not do that. Let's give him all that electricity, but to keep it really small so it's kind of compact with the energy because he's a compact guy. So I like how the mouth came out, especially on this one.
Yeah, no, I love this a lot. It's
Yeah, it's fun. It was fun, and you can see there's a part of a major part of the fun of this book is that they're so easy to draw. I
Yeah.
mean, there's no need for a line of action or to draw a circle for the shoulder. I mean, they're just, it's like basically it's like a face on a caniche, you know.
Eh, eh, that's a good description of them. Yeah. I'm looking at it and I kind of just want to turn and start drawing one. I love the
Oh,
simplicity of this. It's
no one outside New York's going to know what I just said when I said a caniche, and no one's going to have an idea. It's like a pillow with mustard on it. So
yeah,
yeah.
that I haven't had a knish in years, and that just sounds so good.
I know. I know.
Let's see, what does she say? She goes, for me, it's the super
Oh,
fluffy and cuddly part, and yep, for the squishamallows.
oh, that's nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
nice.
yeah. No, that's the feel. Whoops, I hope that
Yeah,
mic didn't
yeah.
make a noise. That's the feeling I kind of get
Hmm.
looking at it too. I see, but maybe it's because I know like the plush figures
Hmm.
that I feel looking at it. There's a softness, there's a cuddly part to
Yeah,
it,
yeah.
you know. But yeah,
You
this
know,
is yeah,
also, I stole the expression from
mhm,
my dog Spencer because he's got some when he's happy, he gets wide open mouth like this, so
yeah,
excited. But this one looks nothing like Spencer. So
yeah,
that's kind of also the key of cartooning: remembering something that looked good to you, and then putting it in someplace that isn't the thing you're remembering. You like,
yeah,
and when a dog put its arm out instead of straight like this, you have him go like this. It was bent. Oh, that's good. So you add that, but the dog
mhm,
you're doing is different. So collecting things that you remember, elements, is important for a cartoonist. As obviously you know, Michael. Michael's a really
mhm.
great cartoonist. If
Thank
you
you.
don't know his work already, he's goes to many comic conventions. He teaches and many other things.
Thank
Everything
you.
except juggling, and he's working on
Uh,
it.
I,
He is
I
working on it.
actually can juggle.
Oh,
I I learned when I was in elementary school. It was part of our gym class to learn how to juggle,
oh,
and
really?
this is honest to God. I was in fourth or fifth grade, and they would try to get us to juggle, and I failed completely at it.
Oh,
And then one day, I think I was maybe in seventh or eighth grade. I was folding socks, and you roll them up into a ball. And I said, I got to try. So I played it, and within a few minutes, I got it, and I started. I just started juggling, and it actually became an exercise for me.
yeah.
I still do it sometimes. I have a little. My arm's a little bad now, but um, it's a great it's a great tool to help you with hand-eye coordination.
Hmm.
And it's fun if you could do it for a long period of time. They say I forget what it was. I think it's like 10 minutes a day of juggling is equal to whatever type of exercise.
Don't believe it. Do not believe it. You
I'm
run
gonna
5 miles. Believe me, you beat the juggler.
Oh yeah, yeah, but I'm never gonna run 5 miles. So
By the way, is there any way to answer the people who type their?
yeah, yeah, you can always just you should have access to the chat.
How
I
do
know
I?
you have access to the private chat to me, like to ask me
Right, right, right,
things,
right.
but you should have a section to type. I don't know where it is on your
Okay, I can't
screen.
see it here, but okay. All right.
But I'm happy to stop if you see a comment that I didn't get
Nah,
to.
it's okay. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
saying hello to everybody anyway,
yeah.
so that's very nice.
Okay.
So, yeah, why don't we look at a few more, then we could talk
Yeah.
some other stuff about cartooning.
Absolutely. I gotta give me 1 second. I'm just gonna hide this for one moment
Sure.
because I have to open the others that you recently sent me.
Yes.
Where is it?
Oh, right,
I'm
right.
I'm just gonna hide that screen and keep us up here. And I'm gonna open it right now. File
Well,
open.
I really liked how the book came out. I mean, obviously, I like my work. Otherwise, I wouldn't submit it to the publisher. I wait till I like it. Sometimes I'll go through 25 drawings to get to one I like of a specific idea. But this one, it just made every time I sat down at the drawing board, it just kind of brought a smile to my face. It's just a happy thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. Listen, I saw you. do me a favor, hold up the book right now
Okay.
because you had it there, and
Is that working?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So first of all, it's not a huge book. What is that, like? I don't know, 8
It's
by.
it's 100 and about almost 130 pages,
Oh no,
128
I
pages.
meant size, like to
Yeah,
fit.
it's a little chunkier, a little cuter because of the
Yeah,
nature of the book. You want it to be cute, you know. I thought that wasn't my decision. Then I thought they made a really good decision.
yeah. No, it looks fantastic. Let's get to a couple of comments before I share the screen again.
Okay.
Um, Holly says he's got Spencer's ears too. LOL. And I got 2 Squishamallows. I got a red fox because they were uh, out of Foxy, and a donkey reindeer. That's interesting. I don't know what my wife has. I know she has a few, and
Oh,
I've seen them that she's either bought in the store or had
yeah.
delivered here. Um,
By the way, someone just came on,
yeah.
and Judy says, "Hi guys, are these softer colors? How this style is usually done, or is it just a matter of choice?" I don't think the colors are particularly soft because there's no shading. Usually, think shading kind of just kind of at the edges really softens it up, but they're pretty straightforward. Little shading just for shadow on, say, on the bottom, so it shows where it
Hmm,
hits.
yeah.
But it's a friendly. It's saturated, which means they're not very pale, and we're not picking very bold colors either, so it doesn't look like it's hitting you in the face. So it's just a good middle range,
Yeah.
and that's a very good question. I think more than how are these colors done, the thing is that when you pick a color that works for 2 or 3 characters, and you think it's not going to fatigue the reader's eye by being too bright or make it strain by being too dark, and you like the range it's in, you try to repeat that range without repeating the same color scheme. So he'll have just as big an impact with his colors as a character that's green. What you won't have is a character that's like dark forest green, kind of like majestic, because no other characters like that. So we'd have a lighter green, maybe a lime green. So I hope that answers your question. You can follow up if you like.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. I always say this, and I'm pretty sure you remember. I'm colorblind, so my colors
Oh,
are terrible.
yeah.
And I understand theory, and I love to listen to people talk about how color works because I'm always learning and like trying to remember things they say. If I was to show off any of my colored work right now, you'll notice it's always bright colors because it's something I could kind of see.
Yeah, you're
You
trying
know,
to tune it up, bring up the volume so that you can recognize it.
yeah.
Oh,
So I
how
don't
did you
do a
find
lot
out?
of
How'd
what.
you find out that you were colorblind?
Um, Going to the eye doctor. So I don't.
I should have
I,
had that. Yeah.
no, I don't. I don't really remember, but it's been my whole life.
Oh,
It comes from the mother's side of the family. So like me and my brother were both colorblind. My 2 male cousins, from my mom's sister are colorblind. So it's just something we all have. But everybody has different stuff. My stuff is more of a shade blindness. So what that means is I see colors, but when they start blending, I have trouble telling them apart.
okay.
And so it's another reason I keep simple palettes and simple colors, but I never work kind of like soft like you have here with the dog. I that
Yeah,
my
yeah.
mind doesn't think like that.
Sometimes a character like this character, I'd love to show a new one too, if you
Yeah,
have it.
let's move on. I'm happy
Okay.
to
Uh,
do it
uh,
anytime.
with a oh that the narwhal. You see,
Yeah.
this is something like if someone does something in the sea of a whale, they generally do a dark navy,
Mhm.
but that's gonna sap the buoyancy out of the character. So sometimes we make a color decision, which is really a character design decision, and that's I like this very cute little, totally harmless narwhal.
Yeah. I really like this was the one when you sent it to me. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna draw this one.
Okay, it's there are several characters, animals in
Mhm.
Japanese style cartoons, manga, anime, etc., that are really big. and the narwhal is, and the panda bear is, and some other ones that have come along. There's this strange, I can't even pronounce the lizard's name. It's a pink underwater small salamander. Very
Hmm.
strange looking, but people love it. Like xylitol or something. And a capybara. People love the capybara. We've got that here. That was fun. You know what a
Yeah,
capybara is?
I'm
Do you
not
know?
sure.
I'm going to tell you. You'll never get it out of your head, unfortunately, after I tell you. It is a 200-pound rat. And it's a
Oh,
South American. And it's cute as heck. It's cute as heck.
well, I'm from New York, so I've seen some big rats.
You've seen 150-pound ones, right? Listen. What the hell?
What is Holly say here? She says, Michael, have you tried what is that color cop?
Hey,
Yeah,
Michael, someone heard Holly wrote that. Have you tried Color Cop?
yeah.
Have you done that?
No, I'm not familiar with that. I have
Yes.
to look it up.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
in this why I mostly dream on my
Mhm.
PC. So
Oh,
yeah,
that's
no, I'll
cool.
look at that. I'll look that
Also,
up.
this is kind of nice that what happens is the border is a
Mhm.
color close to the color of the animal. So it kind of makes it all look like a bit of the sea, even though it's a totally white background. That's it. Xylitol. Yes. I have that in another book. Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a cutie and weird. And weird.
Let's bring up another character here. Well, you're
Oh,
still
this is one of my
talking.
favorites. I gotta tell you,
Yeah,
because it's like, because it's got such attitude.
yeah,
No, this is what I mean. No detail, but attitude.
yeah. I really, it's just, and this is something that always impresses me about just cartooning everywhere I look. When I see something so simplistic that, like, looking at this here and how, easy it is to draw, I'm just so impressed by how, what's the word I'm looking for? How much life is in it. And sometimes that less is more
Hmm.
just really makes things pop more and people can connect with it better. You
Yeah,
know?
you're absolutely right. There's many times where I'll turn to my wife and I'll say, I'm doing these really simple characters. She says, "What's the matter?" I said, "It's tough to do characters this simple because if I wanted to draw a character with some complexity, and I wanted to draw a foot and a knee and, like you say, a leg, I would draw a
Yeah.
foot, a knee, and a leg. But
Yeah.
like this character has none. He just has feet. How are we going to
Yeah.
show that?" And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to have him sit just below the horizontal level of the pillow. That will serve double as the ground. So then I can have the feet straight up and they'll overlap where the legs would be. And we take it and say, oh, the legs are back there somewhere.
Yeah.
That's where they are. I also thought something, I talked to Michael about this before the show, is that if anybody wants to mention this on the posts, talk a little bit about publishing. If you have a project or think about a project, or if you'd ever like to publish something, you want to have a few words of, I don't know if words of wisdom, they're my words, so maybe not, but there's a little bit of my experience. I could maybe kind of illuminate a few things. I'd be happy to do it. One that comes to mind is submissions. When you make your submissions, you send your stuff off. Uh, I know that most that I've known beginners who haven't, say, unpublished, not necessarily beginners, uh, have their attitude will make it tougher for them, and by not having that attitude and shifting a little bit, they increase their odds, in my opinion. So stuff like that, or agents, or this that, or we just go on to the next one and we just tickle the belly of these cute little cats or whatever, and crocodiles, and have a good time.
Yeah. Listen, what we'll move on to the next one. And if someone has a question,
Okay.
if not, and if there's time after, I'd be happy to just even discuss it because it's a topic I
Oh,
thoroughly enjoy.
sure,
So
sure.
let's go through a little bit more. Whoops, what happened there? It jumped.
I don't know. Oh,
But the walrus.
yeah, the thing I like about this one, I have to tell you, I got a kick doing this one because I thought, what am I going to do? See, I don't want to give him this big upper lip that the walruses have. They have a big upper lip. They have giant nostrils. I don't know if you know, but they have giant nostrils. And that's going to be a lot of detail, and it's not going to look cute. So I said, you know what? I'm giving you a really small upper lip. I'm giving a dot for one dot for both nostrils. Put the eyes right next to the top where they are. So I'm getting one thing right. A few whiskers and just plump. He's just a plump little blob of rice cake.
Yeah, yeah, it's great, but that's the thing. Cartooning, at least to me, is always about believability, not
Yeah.
trying to get. And so,
Right.
since with the eyes being moved to the actual area where the eyes are, and people have seen a walrus before, they can connect it and be like, yeah, that's definitely a walrus. However
Right.
you say it, right? I'm
Right.
tongue tied, but yeah, no, I think that's great. I love it.
So, Holly, you had a nice comment, but do you want me to say something about that, or should we just keep on with this stuff and you can say anything you like?
Let's
Or
let's actually talk a little bit about it. We have two more images to go through, but we
okay.
could show them in a little bit. Oh, she has a question here. What is it? Is there a way to draw to make them look squishy and wiggly?
Well, I don't know. I don't think of these guys as really wiggly, and I certainly don't think they're squishy. I think that they're like, to me, like an oversized and oversized, sort of like asymmetrical. But I think the thing for anything is once you find the integrity of the character, I'm not being too pompous, or maybe I am, but that means you have the structure, you have a construction that works, you know the basic shape, then you want to make sure you retain it. So, in other words, if I were going along from the first, second, and third step, and I decided, well, I'm just going to make it kind of a diagonal line from the head to the back tail. That's going to hurt the integrity. The animal has a bump in his back because that helps to define where the head ends and the body begins. So I would just say respect the things that you know you need to make it look like what you want and play with the rest, but keep a general foundation, if that makes any sense. Goo
Yeah,
goo Kachu, huh?
that is David from Sillyville. He's got a fun comic called Sillyville. And yeah, I think he's trying to talk baby talk to the cute walrus. I think that's what he's doing there.
So,
But,
yes, he likes that. Yeah.
yeah, no, it's a fan. Let's look at the others, and we'll talk. Oh God, I love this one
Oh,
so much.
thanks. Yeah, yeah. He looks like yeah. I don't know what he is. Just like a jar with a tail and
Yeah,
ears. But I just want to do just how simple can it go? I mean, I would have taken the tail off, but he needs a tail, or no one's going to
yeah,
know what planet he comes from. But you get it. It's just like an instant thing.
yeah,
And if all you're doing is focusing on the face, the rest isn't that as important. But you want it to be plump. All cute characters, with a few exceptions, are pretty round.
yeah. Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
think so? Do you have any characters, Mike, um, who are cute but are kind of linear?
Oh, it's going to take me a moment to think.
Maybe like a young guy who's like a knight or something. Maybe he'd be kind of like a string bean.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is when I think of cute, I go automatically to round, uh, because that's what I was taught.
Hmm.
Using circles or curved lines adds softness, adds cuteness,
Right.
adds a little more innocence to the character, possibly. I mean, we could sit here and have a whole talk on shape language, but that's part of it. And so I'm trying to I'm going through my list of cartoons, and lately, to be honest, I've been watching a lot more anime,
Hmm.
and it's not like, I don't want to say it's not kid friendly, but it's not the cutesy anime that I could be like, oh, I could pull that character off the top of my head.
Right. Right.
Um, But like if you look, I would say even some of the old school Looney Tunes, even though they used some roundness on them, there was characters that were, you know, that were kind of like had a thin appearance. Like if you look at somebody like Pepe Le Pew, his face was kind of round, but his
Oh
body
yeah, you're right.
was a very kind of a lanky body, so he could move and do the skunk movements.
That's a great example of it. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
But the point is also like look how deep you had to think to find one that wasn't really round. So,
yeah,
but you did, and it's so it's not a rule, but it's just something we sort of expect and can work with.
yeah,
People don't usually realize that when you have a cute character, when you have his body kind of plump and this and that, usually the back, if it's facing three quarters or side view, the back is curved in. Well, I have to show you pictures. It's not going to work, but anyway, on to the next.
and this is the last one you sent. Oh, this
Okay.
is great too.
I haven't posted this one yet. Yeah, it's a
Ooh,
baby rooster.
it's got that kind of Chicken Little look to me.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Those eyes are really far apart. That beak is like almost non-existent. But look, he's a baby.
Yeah,
He's a mochi.
it works very well.
Yeah.
Like I don't even know what else to say here. I would love to, I think these images that you sent me, I'm gonna have a little fun with and draw it, maybe kind of create my own. And it's got, when I look at these things, this is one of the things I love about your looking at your books now as someone who's gained the skill set and understands how to draw
Hmm.
and cartoon. It's like I get to look at what you've done and see how you break it down and then say, what would I do
Oh,
with a basic shape? I mean, really, you're just using it's really like kind of an oval shape with a, like a marshmallow body,
yeah.
and you've created a book that has how it was 100, I think it said on the book 100 animals, right?
Yeah, 100 of them. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And you were able with just this basically marshmallow, two marshmallows kind of in a way.
Yeah. I tell you one thing you're talking about creating them from different principles that came
Mhm.
to mind is this sometimes happens to me. Maybe it happens to you too. But I thought I'd share it because it's kind of funny. You draw the face, you think it's good, you think it's really good. You draw the body, and you just can't get the body. And then you realize, and you finally get it. And you say, "That's great." Now you look at the drawing, and you think the head doesn't work in that body. But I took forever to get that body, so I'm going to get rid of the head. So you get
Yeah.
rid of the head, you put a new head on there, and it's really even better than the first head. The body doesn't work anymore.
I've done that. And that's why when I'm working digitally, I'm on layers constantly, and I keep a pad of tracing paper next to me. So,
That's right. Oh, by
um,
the way,
yeah,
Holly said that I want to know if I could draw a giraffe in this style, and I have. There's a giraffe in this book. Yeah,
that's
I may have posted. I'll try to remember to post it again if I haven't already. I think maybe I haven't. It's funny because I think because it has a long neck, but it's got a very fat body and tiny legs.
yeah,
So it's a giraffe up to a point.
yeah. No, that sounds interesting. I'd love to see the giraffe. I got to check because I do. I see your posts. Throughout the day, usually more in the morning.
Right, right.
I'll see your posts, but yeah, I don't remember the giraffe one. I'll have to go back and look and see if you did.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
but that is
All
cool.
right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for showing those.
Yeah, no, listen, we can leave this up and still chat a little bit. Let's put up the front cover if I can find what there it is.
Okay, thanks.
We'll
Good.
leave this up for a little bit and let
Okay.
people see. Maybe I can close it up on the screen. I don't know if it's gonna shrink it up a little bit because I'm working off one monitor. Whoops, no, right there. We'll leave it there. No, it didn't do anything, I guess. Well, maybe I don't know because it's now
Oh, I
close
see.
to the
I
end.
missed. I missed.
I was adjusting the
Uh,
the software screen size. But
I like that Thomas said that he likes the face of that dog and the wagging tail. It's a tiny little wagging tail, but Thomas probably caught it with little vibration lines that indicate it's wagging like crazy.
yeah,
and he'd be right. That was put there for that reason.
yeah, that was the one. That was one of the first ones I showed, right? Yeah,
Yes, right, right. Yes.
and one of the things, that was one of the pieces I really liked about it, like the the simple tilt of the body with that tail wagging just really adds so much
Right.
motion
No, that's
to it.
good. That's a good point. There's a slight eagerness, not only because of the expression, but because he's leaning forward just a little bit. So it's not static. I like that's good observation. I think I did that just instinctively. I don't know if I planned it, but it works. You're right.
Yeah, it
Thank
works
you.
great. Let's see. There we go. We'll leave it. Okay, so yeah, you did mention that you're happy to talk about publishing, and anybody out there who really wants to, what's that say? My niece likes them and wants to try.
Oh,
That's cool. So yeah, no, you were mentioning, like you said, you have a lot of knowledge on this on publishing in general. You've been doing it since the 90s, correct? I mean, publishing
88.
88 it started.
Yeah, we're
Wow.
publishing every year since 1988.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm so tired I can't tell you.
No,
No, no, no.
it's listen, I'm just thinking how many books I have bought and learned from that time. Now I've mentioned, I don't know if it was your first book or whatever, but I my top three books, and I think they were because they were my first three books from you,
Mhm.
was um, was Drawing from the Funny Side of the Brain.
Oh yeah, that I like
Um,
that one. I was very happy that came out. Thank
that
you.
was that one when I was in, because that was what, early 90s, I think, that book.
Probably, yeah.
And I was in high school and I was like, I want to make comic strips. So I remember like going through that book
Yeah.
over and over. Like that was one I really read over and over again.
Oh, it's so nice. Well, what's so different about that one is I was going to show you how to draw
Mhm.
jokes for comic strips, and I was going to show you how to create the joke visually, how to pace it, how to pay it off, how to put extra beats in. And sometimes I show you the same joke three different ways: one with 4 panels, one with 3 panels, and one with 2 panels. So you got which was a harder joke because in four steps you can lead up to it as you can prepare the audience, but in three steps or 2 steps you got to start it and pay it off right away. It doesn't always
Yeah.
hold its humor.
Yeah.
So it was really a great experience for me, that book. It really was.
And I will say, I kind of took that into my teaching when I taught storytelling. I gave people a template of 4 panels and 3 panels. It was on the
Oh,
same page. It was
yeah.
one, it was it was 8.5 by 11. So it was like 3 by 10, let's say. And it was 3 equal panels and 4 equal panels. And I said, tell me the same story in
Mhm.
4 panels and then in three. So to challenge my students. So I used to do,
That's great.
and I got that. Now I'm remembering because you're saying it, but I got it from your book, obviously.
Well,
Um,
that's great. I think it's very smart to tell people, don't just draw what you think. Think
mhm.
about what you're drawing. And people like to just start drawing. I know it's tempting, but if you spend 3 minutes wondering about what you're going to draw, things will go so much smoother. You won't have to end up in therapy.
Let's see, just the other two books I just want to think about. The other one was um, Everything You Wanted to Know About Cartooning But Was Afraid to Draw.
Yep.
And the other one I want to say was, I think it was just How to Draw Cartoon Animals. I think you did one.
Yes, that was a big seller. That was a big
Yeah.
seller. That sold 200,000 copies.
Wow.
That's a lot. I'll tell you a little story about the Everything You Want to Know But Afraid to Draw. I was new in this, I didn't
Mhm.
know, and I was a little nervous how things were going to sell and this and that. And that I remember going. I remember I was getting out of a meeting with my first publisher, and this book had been out for a while. I just didn't know what's going on with it, and I was a little timid to ask. So I leave this high rise building on Times Square. I go over to the payphone. We used to have those in the old days, and and covered wagons. And so I called the art director because he and I were talking a lot about the book because he had to make the book. I had to tell him what I thought. I said, what's going on with this book that was just out? Do you know anything? He goes, that book? I said, yeah. He goes, that book? That's the fastest selling book we have this season. I was like, that was really something.
I still have my copy, so I will tell you those 3 books are on my bookshelf on the other side.
Oh, that's so nice. That's really,
But
really nice.
I did get a new copy of uh, the the comic, The Drawing from the Funny Side of the Brain.
Yes, yes.
That one. Oh, and the other book I had was, I think it was called, and I think I still have it, but I got the was it How to Draw Cartoons for Comic Strips?
Yes, and Thomas just wrote about that. He
Oh,
said he
did he?
got that and the everything you want to know about cartooning. And thank you, Thomas. Uh, that book also sold several 100,000 copies. It took longer to do it, but it did it. And that was the first one. I have a little fondness for it. The interesting thing about that book is that it was my first book for them. This art publisher, did art books on perspective, on painting, on fine drawing. They never did anything like a cartoons. So they decided what they usually do. They printed it in hardcover and paperback. And almost no one bought the hardcover. I've still got the only hardcover in existence. But the paperback flew off the shelves. If they hadn't printed it both ways and just printed it as a hardcover, I might not have done any other books. It was
Wow.
they believed in it. They just weren't sure which way it was gonna go. And so it worked out for all of us, which is wonderful.
Yeah, it's fantastic because that was my, I
Uh-huh.
guess, early '90s. Those were the books I was using in the in high school. Those
Yes.
were what I went to. Um, Now
Let's
they're
see.
mentioning Dylan's
What is it?
mentioned.
Dylan Rover, that's
Yeah.
how I pronounce it, just came here. So terrific. Glad you're here. And if you want to ask any questions about publishing or art, we just did some art stuff. We thought we'd talk a little publishing. Just let us know. So I'm sorry, Michael, didn't mean to interrupt, but
No,
I
no, I
just
was just
let
going
you
to
know.
go to one of his comments. He says, "I got a furry book." And did you do a book about like
Yeah.
I'll call them anthropomorphic, you know, manga anime style characters instead of just.
Well, yes, I did, and it didn't set the world on fire. You can't win them all, you know. I tried, but the Geiger counter works most of the time for ideas. Every once in a while, you hit a wrong one, but I always promise to make it up next time.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm just saying because I don't think I've ever seen that book.
No,
So,
okay.
but I'll have to look for it now. Uh,
So we want to talk about a publishing thing as
Yeah, I
well.
was. Let's just go. I mean, you've on the last time you were here, you kind of talked about how you got into publishing, and I don't think we need to talk about it again.
No.
Um, but everybody who basically watches my show, the majority of people who watch my show are artists, whether they are established artists or they are in the process of getting their career. So I would love to hear some advice specifically for the newer people trying to
Okay.
get into the industry and publish a book.
Okay, absolutely. Here's something that I was at Connecticut, which is the biggest comic convention in Connecticut. It's got about 18,000 people over the weekend, so it's pretty big place. Although it's not New York Comic Con, but it's pretty big. And I was talking about this. Um, First of all, you're going to submit your stuff. You're going to submit, you have to submit it in the right way, in the right order. Okay, what does that mean? The first right order. I'll tell you what it means. Some people say this: I'm going to self-publish my book, and if it doesn't do well, I'm going to go to regular publishers, traditional publishers, and see if they'll publish it. I'll tell you right now, generally they will not. You're going in the wrong order. What happens is if you don't do well, you list your stuff on different places, online places. The first thing the traditional publisher will do is look up your sales. They'll look up and see how you're doing. They want to see how things go. How did it go when you put it on X and X website and this, and you can't show that you did well, why would you just done a test run for them? Instead, if you can get it published with a traditional publisher, and if it doesn't work out because they don't want it, well, you can always go back to the self-publishing. And if a traditional publisher wants it, they can have it. And you can't publish it yourself and have a traditional publisher publish it. Now, maybe there are exceptions to what I'm saying. This is not legal advice. This is just my opinion from my experience. So let's say that you want to submit your stuff. You also want to know, can I go directly to a publisher? Yes, you can. You probably can't go to a big publisher directly. There are many big publishers, and you know how you find out how to go, who to go to what with? You look at their website. They will tell you if they take unagented material or if they require agented only. If they only take agented material and you think your work is perfect for them, don't send it to them. They will not read it. They will say, I told you not to send it to us. They don't want to see it. They want an agent. That's what they want. So if they say, yes, come over, send us our stuff, then what I'm going to tell you comes into play a little more. I'll say also, though, you can get an agent. You can try to get an agent. Maybe you can't, but you can try to get an agent. So what happens, and let's go back to getting an agent. Say you have well, what do you want an agent for? Let's say you want to get some art jobs. You want to get some illustration jobs. You want to get paid to do a cover. You want to get paid to do a logo. You want to get paid for a character design. That's not a literary agent. That's an artist's representative. And there are lots of those. They also, represent some artists who do book covers or illustrations for books, but their interest is in getting you a job. The literary agent her interest is in getting your book published. Okay. So that's first. Now I'm going to tell you the biggest mistake that the aspiring published author makes. When they go to submit their book or talk to an agent about what they submitted, they want one thing. They want the agent to love it. They want the agent to love the material. This is the wrong way to think about it. The minute you finish writing your book and editing your book and editing it down again and showing it to some people you don't think will like it and listening to what they say and editing it again, and you're ready to submit it, you're no longer the author of that book. You are the salesperson for that book. And you don't care if they love it. You want a contract. You want to sell it. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't listen to the critique. If it makes sense to you, you listen to it. Why are you listening to it? Because it's right, maybe, but also maybe it'll help sell it. Maybe, and you say to that person, can I come back to you? Can I come back to you if I make these changes? And sometimes they say yes. But the person who wants to be loved will argue with the agent. It is good. I love that scene. That's my favorite scene. I'm not changing it. Okay. It's your prerogative. You're the king, and you don't have to change anything. But this is some things that happen. And I know this happens. I've been in rooms where this has happened. Okay, so you send this thing to an agent or to a small publisher, and they're interested. Let's say they're interested. They say, the cat character you have in your book. You go, yeah. You say, we want you to change it. You can make it another animal, but we don't want a cat. You say, that's my cat. It's all based on my cat. I love my cat. I got the cat. Don't you understand? I wrote in the book, I got it when I was 2 months old, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we don't want the cat. We don't want the cat. Now, why are they saying this? Well, I'll tell you why they're saying this. Because the sales force for the company, for the publisher, has been speaking to the retailer where they sell the books. And the retailer said, last year, we sold 10,000 books on cats. No one wants to see another cat. Make it something else, but we're not taking any more cat books. We're getting cat books returned to us like crazy. So she says to you, I like your story, but I don't want the cat. And you say, as the person who's a salesperson, I got to make some compromises. I want to be a published author. This is a business. I would love to be a published author. And you know what? I developed the cat. I can make a coyote my own coyote, the same personality as the cat was. I can use that. People who are serious about selling their work sometimes use uh, advice that they don't like as a challenge to get more creative. And at the end, sometimes they say, it's better this way than with a cat because it was easy to write the cat. He was your cat. It fell off a log. You didn't have to reach for the creative decisions. You didn't have to try harder because and it wasn't as interesting to anyone else anyway. This, how are you going to make a coyote? You don't know. You're going to scratch your head. You're going to walk along the beach and cry. And at the end of the day, you'll have gone to every nook and corner of your brain, and you will have come up with something good. So you're going into a business. You don't have to make these decisions. But people who want to be published and want to be published again often make decisions. Sometimes you can't go that far. Sometimes you come back to the editor and say, all right, listen, I know you don't want me to have a cat, but what if the cat is this, and this, and it turns into a magical cat, or this, that, and a kind of a variation? Can you work with me on this? And maybe they'll say yes, and maybe they'll say, we don't want a cat. So keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. I mean, I know people who have really just had great opportunities and ruin them because they just wouldn't compromise. And it doesn't have to be a huge compromise. And there are many changes you'll be asked to make along the way by editors, and you have to listen to them. They're your editors. And also they know something and they give you feedback and try to work with this. If not, tell them what you don't like about it. But I'm just trying to say the aspiring artist and writer often gets upset. And so if someone gives you changes and making you upset, don't talk to them until you're not upset. I can say that. Really, don't do it. I saw somebody one time in front of me. He wasn't in front of me. He told me in front of his editor, he tore up a contract. He was so upset. I mean, I couldn't believe it, but that was his prerogative. But he didn't work with these people. So advice for developing tougher skin and criticism for your art. Yes. Can I answer this one, Mike?
Yeah, answer that, and then we'll go back to Holly. Holly had a question that she posted right before, but go for it.
If you want someone to appreciate your art, go to people you love who think what you do is wonderful, and they will. Other people who may also love it, who are tough critics, they may be. But if you want to get criticism, which it sounds like you do, that helps you get to the next square of the checkerboard. My opinion is don't go to an expert. Go to your reader, somebody who would be like your reader. If maybe your average reader would be, say, 50 years old or 20 years old, or they have certain interests, someone who's like your reader, because that's the person you're writing for. You're really not writing for another professional. And ask them what they think. But this is my book, How to Be Super Creative. For instance, you might go to someone and say, do you like this character? I just drew this character. And they say, oh, yeah, I like the character. Really? How about if I drew a hat on the character? Yeah, I guess he's still better than this other character. Okay. And what if I put this hat on this character? Oh, now I like the other character. Oh, I see. So the hat makes a difference. Yes, it makes a big. Tease out what they like and what they don't. They don't just not like it. You can say, well, if there's one thing you had to change, what would it be? And the guy would say, I wouldn't put a bridge in the background. Okay, let's say instead of a bridge, it was a forest. Now do you like it? And you can get to the point that you'll understand what they like. And sometimes you think they don't like the whole thing. It's just one thing. You just have to ask a lot of questions. So it's like it's not so bad, especially if you're looking for answers, knowing that you don't have to make any change you don't want.
That's good advice there. Holly had a question.
Yeah.
She says, Does this apply for both how to draw and novel books? Just wondering. That's when you were talking on the topic before. That I
Oh,
think you were just to try to remember because you just gave such great advice. um, it was. What were you saying? It was you were talking
it
about.
was about not falling in love with what you're doing.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, it does with everything in publishing. You're basically they, they tell you what they think, and they know what they think. The publishers or agents, and they don't have a million hours to talk to you. You have to understand, like a small agency might get 500 submissions a month, and if you're going to really think about it and really consider it and come back to them with ideas, not just yeah, I like it. Well, maybe she'll get on board. Maybe you have lunch. Maybe blah blah blah. So um, I think that all this stuff is good for agents and for publishers. It really is. Let's see what was the thing I was thinking about? Yeah, here's another thing where it hurts you. If you just want an illustration job, I know that there are people. Well, I don't know them personally, but I. Oh, it's tempting as an artist. Say you're at a comic convention, you want to meet people, you want to meet professionals, you want to meet someone who's a publisher of a small press, a small comic book place, and you want to show them your portfolio. And there are, if you don't know this, you go to big conventions like the New York Convention, Comic Convention. I think they have a whole thing of they'll look at your portfolio, tell you something. But if you're going and you got a client you're talking to, and you're going to show me your portfolio, everyone knows you build up to the really spectacular piece. You're a good piece up to your best. That's wrong. Do it if you want. My opinion is it's wrong because they're not going to want to look very long. You want to hit them with your best piece right away, and they go, "Whoa, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with whoa?" Because I have to tell you, by the time they get 2/3 through, chances are they're going to stop. They're not going to finish. And I've had this experience, and where they want to work with me, but they just don't want to look at the rest of they're done. Have you ever heard this saying, stop at yes? Don't keep going after you get a yes.
Yeah.
And here's what happens if you don't. The guy's looking through it, and after 2/3, he closes it. He says, "Listen, I want to talk to you about this job that we're doing. No, 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 no. The last piece is great. It's great. Okay, I look at it. And you see, it looks like no, 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 no. Look at the one after that too. Well, these are my best pieces." And you know what your prospective client, employer is now thinking? This guy doesn't listen to me. This guy doesn't. I'm done. This guy's gonna be some pain in the ass. You have to look at it from a sales point of view. You're trying to sell. He's closing it up. I want to tell you the best indication that you have a sale, in my experience, is this. He looks at your portfolio. He doesn't even finish it, closes it up. He looks this way. He smiles and says, "Yeah, I remember when I was a kid. I used to draw, it doesn't matter what he's saying, blah, 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 blah. I remember when I was drawing as a kid, blah, blah, blah." He loves you. He loves your work. That's it. You're done. But you don't go say, "Well, let me draw something for you like that. Tell me what it is." Let the other guy go, So,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
that's really good advice as well. The one thing I was thinking about while you were talking about, it's sales, and you don't have you don't have to fall in love with everything. Is thinking back to the old like Disney animators where they would be told to throw out a sequence, like you know, don't hold on to things and make it like, no, this is what I love. That I already did this. It's great. No, if you're told to make a change, it's for the better.
mhm.
You know, always for the better,
Yeah,
because something doesn't work,
nice.
and that's
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And high right
yeah,
should she say, "I love something I drew, and shouldn't I fight for what I want?" Sure. I'm not saying don't. Throughout this whole thing, I'm saying if that's how you feel, this is my experience, in my opinion, is that you know, it's really nice having been published, you know. And you get if people always think they have their one opus, their one book to get it published. But um, you don't. if you want it, you have the opportunity, if you'll take it, if you can do it, to do another book. And so you think, maybe I'll put that cat in the next book. A few years later, no one's going to remember, no one's going to stop me. If my book does well, they'll let me do it. Let me give you an example. And Holly, really, if you love something, go with your gut. You don't want to take my advice and and not like it, because there's always another book. You could say no with this one and do this one, and then the next one you could. There's a book I did called Drawing Fairies: A Believer's Guide. One of my favorite books I've ever done, and it came from. It was again like a personal thing. I had this. This starts with this artist who's stuck at the drawing board. He can't remember anything. He can't come up with anything creative. He's stuck. So he remembers that that there was this kingdom of fairies way deep in the woods when he was a little boy in New England, and they had all sorts of wondrous things. They were like his muse. So he thinks he needs to go back there and find these things so he can draw them. But it's deepest winter. And besides, he doesn't know where the heck it is, and he doesn't know if he'll find it, if they'll let him in. He's got to go. So he gets dressed, this and that, scarf around the head, big portfolio, workbench, and he makes off down into the woods. And then he sees it, this kingdom, after walking for hours and hours. And they say, "Look, hey, whoa, we remember you, but you're an adult now. We can't let you in, but if you want, you can sit at the edge of the kingdom and draw." And the title is Drawing Fairies: A Believer's Guide. And I mean, I love this. I had examples, this and that. So the head of marketing said to me, "Chris, we like this book, but we don't do this kind of book. We do art technique." I said, "Oh, that's really too bad, And then she said, "Would you consider adding art technique in it?" And I said, "Could I keep some of the narrative?" And she said, yes. And I did the book. Now, like Holly was saying, it wasn't exactly what I wanted, but I was able to find a way to keep that story in. So when I show how to draw a character, I'd make up a certain a personality profile of the character. It was very charming. So instead of just here's a fairy, it'd be here's the feast, and this comes once a year, blah, blah, blah. So that's a way of changing something, but keeping it, But I think it, show a lot of integrity, Holly. And I think that if you start to feel uncomfortable, changing things, you got to listen to your conscience.
Absolutely. Wow. Like I said, I always enjoy listening to what you're saying here. So,
thanks.
It's great words of wisdom. Listen, guys, I'm going to give you a moment if you have any other questions, because I don't have any other questions for Chris tonight. So let's take a few moments. If you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask them right now. And if not, we're gonna wrap up. And I'm sure when Chris has his next book come out, he'll be back. and we'll talk about that. But yeah, listen, until someone asks a question, I gotta say, I'm just super impressed by the new book. I always like your books. I mean, so she says, so you made a compromise.
Yes. Well, yes, yeah, I did. I liked my publisher. I was with my publisher. I thought, what am I going to do? Leave them to go find the perfect publisher. They turned out to be the perfect publisher anyway for that book. It's like I did a book called How to Be Super Creative, which a lot of my advice is coming from, and I did that with my current publisher, Soho Publishing, and it wasn't their exact book, but they wanted to do it because I wanted to do it, and I changed a few things here and there, and I was very happy with it. So that's for me. That's that's a win all the way. For someone else, it might not be.
And let me just say, that is a fantastic book. I've read it. We have talked about it on air, so guys can go find that video if you want. Right. But yeah, no, it's it's filled with great advice. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We have another question though. I don't know if you want to answer that
No,
one.
I'm not answering that.
Sorry, Dylan. um, so
I'm
yeah,
12 in dog years.
what was I saying? No, I was saying I always enjoy your books. I always learn something, and I've said this possibly every time you've been on. But what I really love is just the little side notes you kind of give
Oh,
in each book.
yeah.
Because you just, sometimes it's a little humorous kind of take on something, but there's always great advice, even if it's just a quick sentence that you're saying, like, you talk and you do this. It's just like watching your posts on Facebook. You post a character and you talk about how you just tilted him a slight way to create this type of emotion, and I'm like, I just love those little things, because sometimes
Yeah.
even someone who like I've been doing art professionally for over 30 years now, and you know there's always a nice little refresher. I always go back to books and look through, and it's whether I'm reading a comic, whether I'm looking at an art of book, whether I'm looking at a how to draw a book, like something you've done. I always go back and I look for these inspiration. Those little words are sometimes just enough to help me
Oh,
kind of
that's
get
great.
over what block or whatever I'm working on, like, or inspire something. So I think
Oh,
those are my
thanks.
favorite parts.
Thanks,
Uh,
Mike. And thanks for having me on so often.
oh, absolutely. Listen, anytime. You're totally welcome anytime.
You're a patient guy.
No, but listen, I enjoy chatting with you, and you put out great stuff, and it's great to hang out and talk.
Okay, thanks.
So
Thanks so much, really.
yeah, and so you guys, we're gonna wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for watching, participating in questions. You can follow Chris on Instagram at it's Christopher Hart Books.
That's right, yes.
And do you have a Facebook page
Yes,
specifically? Is it?
I don't know, and, hold on.
Oh, that's okay. If you,
All right,
I can look it up another time and
okay,
just add it into
okay,
like comments and stuff.
okay.
Um, so yeah, just
Instagram is
follow
good. I'm there every
Instagram.
day posting.
Yeah, Chris, and that's the one I'm on too. That's my favorite
Okay.
social media site.
Yeah, yeah.
So, uh, what do you think a spiritual fantasy book could be published? Just this will be our last question.
I don't know what a spiritual fantasy is. It sounds like a gothic sort of thing to me, like very kind of moody horror stuff. So I don't know. You have to look at the publishers, and this is how you look at the publishers. You go to the bookstore, or you go to Amazon. You go to a category that you think you're in. You find the best-selling books in that category. See what they have, and see, and it might be the first 10 or 12, and see if you might belong there. If your stuff is like really out there, is not in that category, maybe it's not for you. If you can't really fit comfortably in any category, that's going to be a problem for a publisher or an agent, because they're going to say, I don't know where this goes. But chances are you could call a spiritual fantasy. Um, is that what it was called? That was
Yeah,
that.
that's what he was calling a
Well,
spiritual.
I mean, I'm not familiar with that, but it sounds like something. It sounds interesting. So, and if it's not, you can maybe, like we were saying, make a little compromise, tweak it a little bit. If it's not fantasy enough, put a magical something in, or magical this. Just my suggestion. Take it or don't take it, but I wouldn't be dissuaded for the genre right now.
And let's end with this wonderful comment, who I believe, and she doesn't have to say it on here, it might have been one of my old students who's watching right now. So,
Wow.
Jessica, if that's you, thank you for tuning in tonight. It says, hello, sir. I got a lot of your books on how to draw, and it's helped me before I stopped. I thank you so much for your work.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so nice. I'm glad you got something out of it. And good luck. Good luck to everybody on your ongoing creativity. I mean, we really enjoy getting your comments. You share sometimes your pictures, and you just bring enthusiasm to Facebook. I appreciate it. And Instagram. Oh, that's
Awesome.
nice.
Awesome. Yes. And okay, Jessica. And it was good seeing you at that Comic-Con. Was it this past year? I think I saw you.
Yes.
So, all right. So, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to be back next week with another guest. Don't forget, you can find me at Brickapalooza this Saturday,
It's
10
me
to
again,
4.
right?
I'm sorry, what?
Next week it's me again. No, just
You want to come on? I'll have a whole group session next week. And yeah, so I'll be at Brickapalooza, and I'll be doing drawings. My cartoonatures, but I'll do you guys as Lego characters. And the following week I'll be at Yonkers Comic Con, just on a panel. I'm not tabling, so I get to walk it and actually spend money and buy comic books and stuff. So, yeah, and I'll have probably a live stream either this weekend or early next week of me drawing and talking comics. So I will see you all then.
Okay.
Thank you again, Chris. It was always a pleasure.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks very much.
All right, and thanks to my audience.